Today is a little bit of a special stream, right? Because if you don't know that I put out a video on a certain somebody named Nikocado Avocado. What's interesting about this is the bit of backlash I've gotten. So now I am not blaming Critical for any of this. That is not what this is. But you know what happens when you have a lot of fans? You have trouble controlling them, and you're always going to have crazy people that appear out of nowhere. And I think at first I was annoyed, right? Because if you make something and you put it out on the internet, or if you put effort into it and you're like, okay, I think I did a really good job. When people just show up out of nowhere and give like nothing burger arguments and say this is shit, that's the worst thing ever. I'd rather have somebody write an essay of why I'm wrong than explain in like 3 words that I am wrong. Wow, the comment section is special today. I really wasn't expecting the backlash I got. And by the way, crowdmade.com /collections FPS Diesel. I have merch on there. See, like, what is this? What kind of argument is this? I hate this. But like, Combat Elite Unit number 876, bad take. What do you mean bad take? Why is it a bad take? I don't even care that you disagree with me. What bothers me about these kind of arguments in particular, right, is that people are just like, I don't like this. Okay, but why? That is the point of criticizing something. To improve it, correct? Right? It's not just to insult someone, right? That is what it's supposed to be. Everyone in the comments needs to calm down and understand that disagreeing with someone's opinion does that not mean you need to be an asshole too about them. So the point of my video, guys, right? The point of my video, right, isn't that Critical is dumb or that I don't like him. Like, I enjoy his content. I enjoy him, you know? I like what he puts out. I think he's a handsome guy. I think his band is sick. You know, all those things, right? These people are just angry about me saying that I disagree with him, which is normal. Normal people can disagree, right? That's normal. I also to add to that, I hate it when you disagree with someone online and they think that your disagreement means that you agree with the opposition. Like, I understand that people hate fence sitting, but believe it or not, there are actually more than 2 binary choices in life. You know, it's crazy. Let's see. This video is one of your worst takes on the situation, dude. No wonder your view count remains low. I mean, you know, kind of mean. Not gonna lie. Am I offended? A little bit. You know, I think any YouTuber who says, this doesn't bother me, none of this bothers me, they're lying. What about this take was bad? I have yet to see anybody argue why my take is bad outside of it being very esoteric and hard to grasp. When I write my videos, I'm very particular on the words that I use. You know, I don't just, you know, say every thought that comes to mind. I word everything very particularly on purpose, right? So that way I'm weaving an argument. It's very important that I am particular with my wording. But, you know, for some people, that's just not enough. Yeah, I mean, I don't really mind Critical doing a video on it, all things considered. I think he has every right to say whatever he wants on the internet. Oh, and this person actually answered my question that I was asking at the end of the video. Just to answer your question, as someone who actually draws adult content on the internet and is currently making money off of it, took me a while to fully grasp the effect fetishy content can have on people, both when they like it or hate it. I myself, as someone who finds Nikocado's content to be fucking repulsive, but as someone who draws stuff that could be potentially revolting to others, I try to give him the treatment I would expect others to have of me, aka I only talk a shit about him in a closed friend group, and I never engage him and his fan base because they have their thing going on and good for them. I can't disagree with that. I really like that stance. It's very adult. What I dislike about Nikocado's attitude regarding his content is the blurriness that he very intentionally creates between reality and fantasy. That's a distinction that I think needs to be made as clear as possible. Fetishes are completely self-indulgent and should be enjoyed with moderation. People shouldn't let their real lives be affected by these fantasies, especially when they can be harmful. That is a great comment. I really like that comment. I mean, I don't agree with the first part, but I do quite enjoy a lot of what they're saying. I think that's very, very just adult about it, and I think that is something that we can all take away. So I was on Twitter, and one of my followers informed me that there's a couple of accounts that are like very anti-Nikocado Avocado. And so they found my video and have started hate bombing it and responding to comments being critical of Critical insulting other people in the comments, which isn't cool. So I will end up blocking these people, but I did want to show off some of what they're saying. Let's see. John Wick. Unintelligent people like you tend to do whatever a superior video like Critikal comes up. You come across as someone who flunked out of grade school. Which, by the way, guys, me exposing you to these things here on Twitch today, every day. This is what I see every day. Every day. So if you wonder why my mental health is so garbage, this definitely adds to it. But the idea that this comment is getting at is something I've talked about before. So I'll actually pull it up, right? So this is like very high-end, like a film and communication studies crap, right? So I won't get into too much of it, but I've talked about this in a video before using Nikocado. But basically what I am arguing and what other people have argued is that our reality is, but we're in a the way I would describe it is a post-truth world, because being able to determine what's true from what's fake is becoming so difficult that it's nearly impossible. And in many cases, you might know things that are unequivocally false, but you aren't aware to that knowledge, right? So if you're not aware to that, it might as well be real to you. And it's the idea of hyperreality, which was primarily, I know of this guy, Umberto Eco, right, and John Baudrillard. They're like sociologist, philosopher types, right? But basically, you know, I'll read it out just in case I make a video. Hyperreality in semiotics and postmodernism is the inability of consciousness to distinguish reality from a simulation of reality, especially in a technologically advanced postmodern societies, which we live in. We live in a postmodern society, right? And our technology is advanced to that point. Hyperreality is a condition in which the real and what is fiction are seamlessly blended together so that there is no clear distinction between where one ends and the other begins. It allows a commingling of physical reality with virtual reality, human intelligence, and artificial intelligence. This is basically getting at, you know, different ideas of the content that we consume and whether or not that content is real. You know, I think good ways to go about this are like horror movies that come out and it's like, oh, found footage, this is real, right? That doesn't work anymore. But when the original Blair Witch came out, there was a period of time when people were like, this is real. Like, this actually happened, right? And we know that's a fake now, right? I do think this does play into parasocial relationships, because the inability to determine between real and virtual is getting to the point where we can't determine real relationships, and it's getting difficult and more difficult to escape those things, right? But I don't have a PhD, so nobody will trust my opinion on all this anyway, so it doesn't matter. Jokes on the people leaving comments calling you a dumbass. That's interaction, baby. There's somebody in the comments, actually, who's, like, responding to everybody, being like, algorithm boost. And, I mean, they're right, but, you know, they're being a dick about it. Reality has become warped since CERN turned on the proton accelerator in 2008. I don't know about that, man. I just make commentary videos on the internet. That might be above my pay grade. Nikki's Big Milkers. Honka, Big Booba. Big Booba. Yeah, this I said this on Twitter as well. Just boosting, but yeah, I think that Charlie's fans should think before speaking. How does not knowing something excuse you of it? That's not how it works. I just think it's funny that Charlie has made 2 videos about his stans being harassing and to stop. Then twice in his avocado videos told people to politely fuck off with the harassment and stop being sentient cancer. I think your video and Charlie's both hit the mark on the situation. I also agree that this is borderline fetish shit, and you're not the first one to say that. YMS has also weighed in on it, saying it most likely, if not definitely, is fetish videos. Kind of reminds me of the people who do cigarette smoking videos, and people who fetishize it will push the person to keep smoking. This actually killed one YouTuber making this content. I imagine also Charlie didn't talk about the feeder shit because he either didn't know or knew people would take it out of context. The internet's a wild place like that. Yeah, I don't even think most of the people leaving comments listened to that argument that I made. So there's that. Let's see. Thanks for actually speaking sense. I've been fascinated with Nick for years now. He's absolutely self-aware. Even if the toll on his body is real, he's completely understands what he's doing. Yeah, he does. He absolutely does. He's an extremely smart dude, and the fact that people can't see that is mind-boggling to me. He's just a lol cow. The internet's full of them, and he reaps the rewards. Yeah, he's capitalized totally on being a lol cow. Absolutely. He has capitalized on it in a way that some people just cannot. I love these responses, man. Nothing you say made sense. Then again, you probably didn't graduate from grade school. Like, what kind of argument is that? Like, this has to be a kid, right? I think it's easy to tell which vids have them being genuine and which ones are acted up for views, to be honest. Maybe it's just because I've seen their content since they were vegan. Some of what they share is real, but even if they often act up for views, it's literally Nick character online persona now to be ornery and a total brat. Nick has always been emotional, but if you watch his serious content, you get a better grasp on how he actually behaves versus his crazy acted vids. That's true. He's openly admitted he sees YouTube 100% as a business, yep, and he puts everything into making it successful because he wants to get the money from it, aka he's willing to do whatever it takes to get the views. He realized being wild has brought him the most views and attention he's ever had now at this angle. He told people he only binge eats because he considers it his job, and he'll do it until he feels he's made enough money from it. Then he'll try to change his life, regardless of the effect it has on his body. Yeah, he has talked about this with other YouTubers too. I think it's crazy to do this. I think it's a little bit much. If this is your business decision, I wouldn't want to put my life at risk like this. But that's what it is, you know. When Def Noodles has a better take than you do, FPS, that's sad. All right, fine. Let's go find out Def Noodles' take on this. All right. Critical attacked by Nikocado Avocado. By the way, I saw the response videos. Who is Def Noodles? Def Noodles is an asshole. This guy, I hate this guy. I've done a few videos on him, but he's like lied about being like a poor minority and all this shit. He's like from like some rich daddy type kind of deal. He's a total dick.
To sit down on the computer and talk about my weight and my appearances and to fixate on how I look as if I don't have the right to exist because I happen to...
All right, guys. Here's an argument tactic. Come on, focus, please. Here's an argument tactic. Nikocado is moving the goalpost here, right? Don't make the argument about Critical's points. Make the argument about Nick's identity, right? So if Nick makes the argument about Nick's identity, it just makes Critikal look like a bad person.
And to be honest with you, I think it was pretty obvious off the bat that nobody was going to take Nick's response seriously because of just how outlandish and outrageous he was trying to be with everything.
I mean, I can't disagree with that, Dennis, right? I can't disagree with that. He's being deliberately chaotic about it, just trying to make it a spectacle, right? Nick will genuinely die, and that's grim at the end of the day. I you know, the thing is of Nick dying, so if you guys are unfamiliar with like those fat reality TV celebrities, right? They're like 600-700 pounds, like my 600-pound life. Like I won't even show this stuff on stream because I don't know if it'll get TOS'd. But they are much heavier than Nick. Nick is like 6 foot something. He's a very tall guy. Is he extremely overweight? Absolutely. But have I seen more overweight people than him at Walmart? Abso-fucking-lutely. Okay, I don't think Nikocado is as obese as people are letting on. And, you know, the CPAP machine, there's a lot of people that have sleep apnea. You don't need to be like overweight to have sleep apnea. Tons of people can have sleep apnea. So, you know, he's not intubated. I said that in the video. You know, he's not knocking on death's door. He's extremely overweight and out of shape, absolutely. And he should do something about that. But he is recently overweight in the grand scheme of things of his life. It's not fat that's been there for the last 10, 20 years of his life. You know, there is a lot of chances Nick has still to turn himself around at some point.
Nick is the type of person who has literally profited tremendous amounts from making videos about other people. He's made videos about Trisha Paytas, about
Dennis. I gotta stop calling him Def. I want to call him Dennis. Dennis, what's happening here is that Nick is being deliberately... this is exactly the response he wants. He wants people to be like, well, that doesn't make sense because Nick has done this, and this. Nick wants you to respond that way. Okay? That's a... Nick is playing you like a fiddle, Def Noodles. Okay? He's playing you like a damn fiddle.
Literal video evidence in the titles and in the content that he's put out is absolutely fucking hilarious.
Oh, Jesus Christ, Def Noodles. Oh my God. Am I a crazy person? Guys, am I actually a crazy person? Is Nikocado actually super unaware of what's going on right now? Because I don't buy that. I don't buy that for a second. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I am going crazy. Maybe it's fucking baloney. Maybe my whole idea of Nikocado is bullshit, right? But please, please, please tell me I'm not crazy, because I've been watching Nikocado long enough to know that he is making videos like that with the purpose of making money, okay? He is not unaware of what's happening. Am I crazy? Am I crazy? Oh my god. It feels so much like it's overacting and being played up. Absolutely. My guy probably thinks that Borat actually exists.
You know, it's kind of hard to have a conversation with Nikocado because you never know if he's purposely missing the point or if he's just misconstruing it to victimize himself, but
he is deliberately missing the point. He's always deliberately missing the point. That's the point that Nikocado's whole point is that he's missing the point. He's trying to get you angry. That's the fucking point, Dennis. Noodle Lad looks like he's the type of guy in high school to ask where my hug at.
the only reason why Nikocado is in a position where he can claim to be disabled in the title of his videos is because of the lifestyle that's been enabled by his subscribers.
His subscribers didn't enable nothing. Okay? They're not responsible for the things that Nikocado does to himself. Just as Nikocado isn't responsible for the things his fans do. Okay? It has to work both ways. All right?
To do things that I had been once able or could or should have been able to do.
And I think that's the exact point that everybody's trying to make, that the reason why Nikocado is no longer able to do the things that he was able to do, say, 3 or 4 years ago, is because of the massive growth of his YouTube channel, which in turn caused him to completely change his body into something that has been making his life a little more difficult.
I mean, this is just my conspiracy theory, but I think the reason that Nick chose to upload the content publicly to the internet is part of his fetish, right? But that's a hard pill to swallow, and I'm just guessing what the guy's into, so I could be wrong, but that doesn't make Critikal any more right. So there's that.
If I was a woman, you would not be doing this to me. Let's take that in the comments. Would you say that to especially if she was pretty or popular or people liked her? Would you do that? She's herself.
I hate to be that person, but people do this all the time with Eugenia Cooney. She's just at the opposite end of the spectrum than what Nikocado's in.
Okay. Here's another thing. Eugenia Cooney, the issue there is that, I mean, aside from the stuff with their audience and her audience, like saying, oh, you look so pretty, even though she looks like she's on death's door. And she's probably closer on death's door than if Nikocado, to be frank, right? Sorry. Hello, base department. Diesel just said something mean. Eugenia Cooney, her home life is not the best. I don't know how many of you are familiar with it, but her mom is particularly aggressive. And so that is what's enabling the behavior of her, engaging in eating disorders, right? But, it's a totally different scenario with Eugenia Cooney. So it's part like people being like, this girl needs serious help. Eugenia's environment being, the environment she lives in being horrendous for getting the help she needs, and nobody around her telling her that she needs the help. She's cut off all those people either at the behest of her mother or her own self, So at the end of the day, we got to be like, put our hands up, be like, yep, that's it.
Coughing excessively for over 2.5 months, and my obesity, all 350 pounds of force.
Well, I don't believe Nick broke his ribs. If hot take there. I'm gonna be a doctor for a second and say that Nick's ribs not broken. Hot take, I know, but I don't think it is.
Absolutely fucking hate. I've made 2 different videos on how much I hate when people go and harass people, but just from like YouTube videos. And
I'm not saying I want reparations. I'm just saying that he told the Critikal stands not to.
And I feel like it's reinforced by his audience on YouTube that encourage it, which is something he mentions in his videos from time to time.
I agree. I mean, a lot of people have made similar points to that, including myself. When you think about
of course you would make that point, Def Noodles, because you don't have an original opinion of your own to give. Also, I'm not going to give Nick an eating disorder. I'm not going to say it's an addiction to food, because I'm not a psychologist, right? I know I just diagnosed him with unbroken rib. But if I had to guess, I'd say that it's more of his fetish interfering with his normal life rather than him having an eating disorder. And does that mean that the eating disorder and the fetish is the same thing? But I don't know, but I'm not going to make that call, right? So
The more junk food he shows, the more junk food.
okay, when people say that I spend too much time talking, right, and I don't get to the point, I want them to watch a Def Noodles video and tell me if they think I'm taking too long to get to the point, right? Because I'm making an argument and I need to explain it, and it takes a while. But Def Noodles is just repeating what's on screen after showing it and then not adding anything else new, right? His opinion might be exactly the same way as Critical. I don't feel like he is giving any extra context that I would get if I was just watching a Critical video, okay?
Hi everyone, it's me. We're gonna be making a response video to Penguins who made a video about me. Again, I'm furious. So
He's calling them penguins. So if you watch Nikocado, you might realize he does something with a lot of the celebrity meals he eats, like the Sweetie meal and the other McDonald's like crossover tie-in crap, where he'll mispronounce the names deliberately. He does that on purpose. He's trying to goad people into commenting. He's trying to cause anger. That's the point of doing that.
The bat first big observation is Nick is extremely defensive. This time he doesn't seem to be hiding behind his character anymore. But the thing is, folks,
Def Noodles, are you fucking stupid? Bro, are you kidding me?
that we have this grown-ass man sitting in his gaming room.
Charlie is a grown-ass man. Yes, he is. He does have a gaming room. He also has the largest collection of dildos. He is a man of many talents. It's a non-argument from Nick, but that's the point.
this is a bad take. Everybody's allowed to have opinions, especially on the internet. And if you're going to post stuff on the internet where literally everybody's going to have access to it, people are going to have opinions.
I will say this, right? I made a tweet about this, but I said, like, who are we to tell Nikocado to stop gorging himself to death? That's true. You know, you could give an opinion. You could be like, I don't agree with that. You know, but at the end of the day, you can't like grab Nick and be like, stop it, you're dying. You can't keep doing this to yourself, kind of deal. You gotta just like put your hands up at a point and be like, all right, you can do this to yourself. I'm way past the point of telling Nikocado needs to stop. Like, Nikocado needs to stop. You know, that's done, because he's not. He's going to stop on his own accord. He's a grown man. Like, I get it. So we need to move the conversation beyond that if we're going to have anything that's, like, worthwhile to discuss. And so, you know, I really don't think the conversation needs to be had anymore, that Nikocado is eating himself to death kind of thing, because it's been done to death by commentary. I'm so tired of hearing commentary channels just say that over and over and over and over. We've heard it a million times.
That is enabling him to continue this lifestyle and going down this road.
Oh my God, say the same thing one more time, Def Noodles. Say the same thing. Def Noodles, this is why I want to get in a ring. Guys, I need my channel to be successful, so that way I can get in a boxing ring with Def Noodles. This is like a no-meme goal I want. I want to be able to be successful so I can challenge Def Noodles to a boxing match.
These habits that he's been indulging in is what is enabling him to go down this path. I mean, anything can enable a mental illness. Not that we're diagnosing anything or saying that what Moist Critical said is right, but I'm just looking at it from that lens that he is truly...
I mean, I will say that I've gotten shit before when I've tried to diagnose people in videos. I said Social Repose was a narcissist, which I still believe. Same thing with Onision. I think they're both narcissists. They act the same way. Right, but like, you say things like that and people are like, well, you don't have a PhD, so fuck you, and that throws your argument out the window. So, you know, I try not to say stuff like that now, and I get why Critical's saying it, and I don't know if I disagree or agree with him yet. I just don't think I'm convinced that it is like something serious that needs to be medically addressed by like a psychologist or a therapist, right? So I'm not gonna make the call on that. I've learned my lesson. I don't want to have that conversation. I don't think I will win, even if my argument is good, so I'd rather just not play that game. But yeah.
Because you are literally being enabled by hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people.
This is a stupid argument. This Nick's audience is enabling him. Like, you need to be able to have some backbone to be in this field. I can assure you that Nick has it, right? But like, the idea that the audience is somehow responsible for Nick's actions is just as ridiculous as saying Critical is responsible for his audience's actions. Am I like in a like Critical made that argument about Nick's fans influencing Nick, but what about Critical's fans being influenced by him? He even shot that down. But why is it fine the other way? Like, does it change? How? Like, yeah, creators feel beholden to their audience, but you don't have to. I've been making content now that is different from what my content would usually be. I'm not being beholden by the opinions of my fans. Like, what? Stupid. That was torture. Omni made a video on it. Oh, it's spooky month. He's dressed as Spider-Man. Hold on, guys. I'm gonna place a bet here. Now, I like Omni. I really enjoy Omni. I'd love to get to know him. I think he's a really cool guy, right? But let's place bets here. Does Omni say the same exact thing? Does he parrot what Critical said? Am I an outlier in opinions here and disagreeing with Critical? Am I truly an outlier? Is that what this is?
Nikocado is this YouTuber for the past 4 or 5 years has gained extremely large amounts of weight, unhealthy amounts of large weight, to the point where now he is in bed with a sleep apnea machine tied to his face, and he looks like he is actually dying.
No, Omni, wrong. Wrong. That breakdown was wrong as fuck.
The slowest, longest suicide on YouTube public history, and it's becoming a big deal where everyone is talking about.
He's not on death's door. Period. End of conversation.
Made this tweet and he said, "Homie is going to be dead in a couple years, and it's just sad." That said, this guy had plenty of chances to get his stuff together, and I don't feel sorry at all. And if you kind of look at this right here,
I really am an outlier on this. I really am. I am honestly flabbergasted. I don't understand. Am I just that exposed to random garbage on the internet that I'm like, yeah, this is feeder content?
And he's profiting off the fact that going down this spiral hole is turning him disabled. If he says that this is just, fake or whatever, then he's playing a character that has a disability and using disability as the way to monetize and profit. You know what I'm saying?
Man, guys, imagine if you got exposed to fucking the adult feeder content. Wow. Imagine. I'm not saying it's okay, right? I'm not saying it's cool. I'm not saying it's cool to pretend to be, disabled, to make an OnlyFans about pretending to be the girl in a wheelchair from that visual novel, right? I'm not saying that. But that is part of it. It is part of it. It's true, right? The whole immobilization thing, that's really part of it. And I think in like clear internet things, right? I get why people would be bothered by it, but like, I don't know if people are hitting it. I think they're missing it. I think they're missing a mark. I asked this question in the video. If you haven't watched it, right? The question is this: like how at what point? Because I know I have a lot of my audience is like super sex positive, and that's cool. And I'm cool with that, right? But at what point do you have to put a line in the sand and say, I am all of these things up until this point, and I will not go any further than that? And then whatever way you dice it, there's going to be a lot of people that feel like super like offended by that, by the fact that you're like, I'm drawing this line here, So I see where a lot of commentary channels are coming from. I understand why they have this opinion, and I could see how they have similar opinions about different things, especially in this field, about stuff like that. And I've never really agreed with it. And I'm being very vague because I know this gets much more heated than what this is, and I know my chat agrees with me on this one specific thing, but I don't know about the other ones. But that's why I'm deliberately talking about it like that. I don't know. The lines are usually zigzagged. As someone who does online sex work, I drew a line and lost a lot of followers, so yeah, people will get mad. You just need to get over it. Yeah. I mean, it's like you got to find that line that's like personal to you, but like you drew a line and people got mad, but you're not like posting about how you hate the people that are on the other side of the line all the time, right? Like, you're not going around being like, fuck this, like 24/7. Like, first of all, that would just be very unhealthy to yourself, right? It's fine as long as your fetish does not interfere with your day-to-day life, IMO. Yeah, that's probably what I would say. I think if Nick was at the point where he was actually immobilized, that there needs to be intervention. But if that's not really the case, I don't really see why we all need to be like, Nick, I care about you. Because let's be real here. Let's be real. Do you guys genuinely give a shit about Nikocado's health? Does Critikal give a shit, that much of a shit about Nikocado's health? Because I will tell you right now that I do not care that much. Oh God, no. People are allowed to like whatever they like. I just won't do certain things. If you do those things, more power to you. See, no. Like, you guys don't care about Nikocado's fucking health. So what makes you think that these altruistic commentary channels actually care? Because I don't believe them. I don't care. You're telling me my peers, my contemporaries care, but not me? What? There was somebody on the video who was like, oh, Critikal's doing this because he's looking out for him. I'm like, you realize that part of this is because Critikal gets money from it? Like, that's a real component of this that plays a role and a factor in the topics you choose. And by the way, even before Critikal had done his video, I've been planning to do a video about this. But this just made it great, so now I can put 2 YouTubers in the title.
Dying. You know what I'm saying? And I guess the question at this point is, like, what do you do, right? If he doesn't want to acknowledge what's going on, if he doesn't want to break character, if he doesn't want to take it seriously, if he wants to keep monetizing...
Guys, we don't actually care this much about Nikocado's health. I don't believe it. Why is this the argument we're making? Like, are you lying to yourself? Are you believing this lie? Because I couldn't lie to myself and be like, yeah, I care. I'm so worried about his health. I'm so worried about Nikocado and the fact that he's overweight and has a CPAP machine. Like, who the fuck is saying that? Fat Joker. Fat Joker, born to shit, forced to wipe. We live in a society. It also doesn't help that most people don't know anything about being overweight anyway. That's true. Unless you've been a thick boy or girl or them, you don't know what it's like, okay? I used to be like 300 pounds. That shit was difficult. It was difficult to lose weight, okay? I've talked about it on stream before, but I used to walk to the gym. People would mock me for walking to the gym. I'd walk in the snow, in the rain, and all that shit. I used to be fucking fat. But, like...
Everyone was right. We don't want that. We don't want another content creator.
Man, could you imagine? There'll be 2 camps if Nikocado kicks the bucket, right? There'll be the camps that's like, Nikocado died commentary videos, and then it'll be the videos saying that it's not okay to make commentaries about Nikocado dying, and it'll be the third party who's on Twitter who's just like, this is just so sad. It'll be those 3, right? Because the same thing happened with a bunch of other events in the past where creators died.
Hey man, emergency, pump the brakes. We all see it. We all see the effects. We see what you're doing to yourself, but also we see what you are doing to influence others watching you, thinking that they can do and replicate this exact same thing. It's a harmful trend, in my opinion. You can do mukbangs in a way that's a lot more healthier than this. In my opinion, that's how I feel. But this has become a little bit harmful. This is kind of going, a little bit too out of the deep water. So yeah, let me know how you guys feel about the subject.
I don't think I agree with you, Omni. You're good at what you do, though. That's your opinion. You're allowed to feel that way. I disagree. Apparently, I am literally the only person with this opinion, and that I am the only person who apparently doesn't care about Nikocado's health. So there's that. But yeah, this was a pretty banger stream. Quite enjoyed this. Very different from the usual. I appreciate y'all coming out. I understand that this might have been a little chaotic. But yes. It was a nice stream. It's nice to see Stans react to Chris again. Thanks for streaming, Diesel. Thank you all for stopping by. Appreciate it.